Welcome to the Connecting Greeks podcast. We're connecting the Greek community all over the world through media, technology, and love for our culture.
Connecting Greeks, I'm Angelo Tsarouchas, and we're here with Ari Kalos and Foti Stamos.
Hello.
Hi, doing, fellas, and we're here connecting Greeks, and we got a special guest coming up later in the show, celebrity chef, my dear friend Christine Cushing, and we're going to talk to her about how the food is being affected by everybody in COVID and all the wonderful things that she does. And fellas, how was your week? How are you guys doing? How are you coping with this?
I was telling you before we started that I'm like so bored, but super productive.
Well, I got to tell you, Angelo, I had to cancel my trip to Greece, which was very devastating to my kids and the wife because of COVID. So we had to kind of improvise and do things at home, which is not the same.
It's not the same, is it? You know, it's funny you say that. I was talking about that today, and somebody asked me. I went to this. There's a Greek restaurant. I go out with Papa. I'm not going to give names, but it sounds like a joke. It's a Greek priest, a Catholic priest, and a rabbi, a Greek singer, a Jewish photographer. It's a good group of guys. Yeah. And we went to a place in Oxnard called Stephen's Mediterranean Kitchen.
Yeah.
And he made yemistat today, peperias and tomates. It was delicious. And we go there to have a cigar. He lets us have a cigar in the and it's funny because for a brief moment with the salads and everything, I'll say honestly, for about 20 minutes, I thought, I feel like I'm in Greece. And then, you realize that it's not Greece.
Right.
And I've said this before, guys. I've said this before. Everybody should go to Greece once in their life.
Absolutely.
And the days once, and I've said it, you're Greek. I go, it's got nothing to do with me being Greek. It's got everything to do. I've told people, anyone, I don't care who you are and where you're from, everybody should go to Greece at least once in their life and then come back and talk to me. Because you're all, my wife's Armenian. All the Armenians in California go to Palm Springs. Like big, they go to Palm Springs. It's 108 in LA. It's 114 in Palm Springs.
Jeez.
And I don't get it. I honestly, and I think that's what makes Greeks different. Because people go to me, why do you want to go to Greece? Because there's no better place in the world to go but than Greece. There's James Maliaros. Is that my friend James?
It is, Angelo. How are you, my friend?
Good, James. How are you?
It's been forever, mate. How's it going?
No, good, mate. How you been? I haven't seen you in Skilu's age, as they say, right?
Mate, I moved to LA for a few years. I was there for about 3 years, but I've moved back to Toronto now.
You're back in Toronto, right? And it's funny, James. I live in LA, and I haven't been here until the COVID.
Right. No kidding. Wow. Shoot.
And James, there's meet Foti and Ari. James was with Village Roadshow. He was with Village Roadshow Pictures. Then he's with Universal Canada. He's a big shot.
Oh,
he'll
cool.
He'll never say it. And he's got a lovely family. And when I went to Melbourne, Australia, his best mate picked me up from the airport and took me straight to a strip club. And I love this guy. We went to Spearmint Rhino.
Man!
Got the thin. And I said to myself, look at the philotimo that Greeks have around the world. You remember that, Jimmy?
Absolutely, man. He was texting me saying, I fucking love this guy, Ange, mate. All the Greeks are like here in Melbourne. Hilarious,
I have a quick little fun fact. The Spearmint Rhino manager is Greek.
Sorry about that. Hey, Frank, am I loud?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, buddy.
I'm only because I'm recording. I got just give me
keep it down.
10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. You're yelling and I'm picking up on the camera.
No problem, buddy. I'll go inside. No, it's okay, buddy. I didn't realize I'm on a live feed. That's why. No problem. Do a thing. I interrupt. My neighbor's an actor, and being Greek, poor guy, he's doing an audition. He was on the show Hollywood. So the mesa tora.
The Halases.
You ruined
vreau să-mi scoală setora. So he said to me, he's my neighbor, Frank. He goes, dude, you're really loud. I got to record something. And he's, Malacas, he's bragging because he got an audition and I don't have one. So it doesn't matter. He's right, man. So I'm gonna come inside now here. Because I was good. See, I get when I get excited, when I get happy and passionate, because I don't have a career anymore or a job. So doing this, James, doing this Connecting Greeks now has given me some kind of hope.
Good.
Yeah,
for something.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, for sure.
And it's my daughter wants to say hi. Come here, Olivia. Come here and say hi.
Oh,
that's my daughter, Olivia.
Sweetie. Hi, Olivia.
Say hi. She just turned 8 on.
Oh, happy birthday.
She turned 8 on Sunday, and because she convinced me to get her a dog.
No, that's
I begged him and
she was daddy. And she did it the really nice way. She asked me 1,000 times. So I'm living in a house full of women here who are just buying things on Amazon freely. And I'm like my dad now. I'm turning into my Greek dad. I'm turning down the thermostat. Get the fota. And my wife just could care less. I married an Armenian woman with a spending disorder. Every day there's kutia coming to the house from Amazon and
I
Gap.
don't think that's Armenian specific.
Yeah, mate. That's a global problem with your necklace in general, So
James. But good. So James, you're back in Toronto now. What are you doing, James? What are you doing up in TO?
Well, I'm doing some consulting work. I've been doing that for about 6-7 months. The entertainment business is completely fucked, as you know. I'm working on,
of course.
Yeah, working on some stuff for some folks at Netflix and a couple of other companies, Canadian companies called Chorus, Bell Media.
Yeah, sure. I know
doing that kind of stuff, and but it's all good, mate. It's all good,
That's good.
When your neck spins, I'm like, yeah. And her answer is, I'm like,
I gotta send you. Like when we were trying to sell something in Canada years ago, James was a big help for me, and he took the time out to do it. And as a friend, we've gone. I miss Jimmy. I miss going to La Castile in Toronto.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
The boys would love that place. Prime rib and lobster tail owned by Greeks. It's called La Castile in Toronto.
Terrific.
And James, I had a sold out tour this year in Melbourne. In Australia. And we had sold 30,000 tickets and we had to cancel.
Wow.
All over Australia. So
because of COVID. Jesus.
The COVID thing hit,
Yeah. Melbourne's hit really hard, mate. They're on full lockdown right now. My mum's positive.
Wow.
Yeah, she's fine, but just botanas. Really.
Yeah. Well, perastica for your mom. We want her to get better and feel better. And the way we're looking at it, as far as this is going now, here in Hollywood, 700,000 people are not working directly or indirectly. Film, television, multimedia, anything, voice. What I do, and it's going on the month number 6 now.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at right now. So that's why you're seeing more of these things happening. And we're doing when the boys approached me to do this, the Connecting Greeks, I said, let's do it, because I thought we can do this and we can get good guests on like yourself and everybody else. And it's been great. But what we're gonna do now, James, I'm happy you came on. I'm gonna contact you. I'm not gonna be in Toronto anytime soon, but if you're back in LA or back, because that's the nice thing about Connecting Greeks is that we do connect.
We do.
And anywhere we go. And look at the separation. Guys, look at I went to Australia. James is from Melbourne. I kid you not, guys. We landed in Melbourne. His buddy picked us up from right from the airport. We didn't even go to the hotel. We went to Spearmint Rhino. I go, I love this guy. And they were doing bouzouki on the streets and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, James. And I called James. friends are crazy. I love these guys.
Right.
And that's the true, who else would do that? And that's what I'm trying to tell people. Just because I'm James's friend and these are his childhood friends. But then I thought about it. If it was James coming to Canada first time and it was I would do the exact same thing for him.
Right.
Yeah. It's a classic.
You know what I'm saying?
Scenario.
It's a Greek, and that's a phenomena, and it's still. I think it still exists. I think we still have that philotimo. But if I go somewhere and they're like, "Oh yeah," it's like, and it doesn't. It feels like you've known them your whole life.
When we brought you to Boston, Angelo, we were planning. We took you. I think we took you to breakfast or something, and then Canes showed up with all the donuts, and then we were going to go for dinner. But then one of Foti's friends took us all out to dinner, and then we went out like. That's what Greeks do.
Wasn't there a guy named Billy?
It was who was it?
Billy
Markopoulos, wasn't it?
Was it Chicago? Billy.
Oh, no.
Was it Chicago or Boston? Yeah, Billy. Remember he hung around? Like, what are you doing, Billy Ella? He was a nice kid. I said, just come and hang out with us. I can't remember. Maybe it was Chicago. I think so.
Well,
I think it was Boston.
It was probably one of our buddies that actually, like you said, everyone just tags along and comes along with it. And
everybody wants to pay too, which I love. I have no problem.
You ever go out with?
I got it.
Yeah.
You ever go out with Canadians or Americans? I got it. Okay, thanks. I got it.
Ange, could you do me a favor? My really good friend of mine in Melbourne, her name's Kathy, is a big fan of yours. Could you just say a quick hello and shout out? And I'm just going to tape.
Hi, Kathy, Katerina, big Filakia from LA. I love Melbourne, and I'm sad I didn't make it this year, but next year for sure. And if you're a friend of James, when I come to Melbourne, buy me a café. I mean it. Buy me a café. For sure. I hang out. It's funny because, James, it's funny. I'll go to places and we'll just hang out with people, and they're like staring at me like, why you here with us? I go, why wouldn't I be? And they're always like in awe because they think, because I've said this with the guys before. It's nice to have an affection of celebrity, but with Greeks you can't play it like a big shot. You got to be, you know what I mean? It's like that.
Yeah.
It's they're like, we're really cool. You came and hang out with us. I'm like, yeah, we're just gonna hang out. And they're because if you start playing like these Greek diva singers from Greece, Mimi Kitas Damatia, Fero Mumetaksa, and then it's those guys.
So, Angelo, do you want to do a bit of an intro for? I'm
gonna do an intro for Christine
because she's on.
Okay, we got Christine on. So James knows who I'm talking about. Our next guest on the show has been a dear friend of mine for many, many years. She had Christine Cushing live. She's an award-winning chef. She has toured the whole world. She's lovely. I have actually eaten at her home. I'm one of the few privileged people that have had an opportunity, and she makes amazing recipes, but she has a great zest for life also. And her newest show is called Confucius Was a Foodie, about the history of Chinese food in North America. And I'm a big fan of that. So welcome. We're going to welcome right now a big Connecting Greeks welcome to the one and only Christine Cushing.
Hi, Angelo.
Hi, Christina. Mo canis. And I first of all, thanks for coming on with Ari and with Fotios. So we're coming to you. You're in Toronto. Ari is in Washington. Foti is in Boston. I'm in LA. Wow. And we're connecting. See, I'm making it sound really international here.
Absolutely.
Totally.
And I haven't talked to you in a while because we've had the COVID, and the boys got the idea. They asked me, this is how much of an opportunity it is. The guys go like, well, we want to do this thing called Connecting Greeks, and they go, what are you doing, Ange? And I'm like, nothing. So what?
I'm paying.
So do you want?
Bills.
I want to do this, and I thought because when they said, hey, bring the guests you want, and. We just had James Malheiros on, who's one of the most humble, nicest people in the world. He used to be at Universal and Roadshow, and he's an Aussie. And I'm going to bring some Aussies on. But I thought of you right away because We've been friends for a long time. I love you. I love your husband, Boško, who's about 7'8". He should be playing for the Raptors. Yes, he's a tall, good-looking Serbian guy. But it's funny because right now, Christine, with everything going on, and I'm telling the guys, like your Greek garlic shrimp, and I've eaten at your home, and I mean, for you, it's nothing. It's like Tuesday. Okay, let's make lamb chops. Let's make garidas. Let's make stuff. Have you been hearing a lot from people? What's the thing about, because we can't go to Greece this year, right? A lot of people can't go. And what's the feedback you've been getting from people? Because now we're actually, we're getting tired of what we're eating. So how do you keep it fresh? Like, I mean, well, what's the attitude?
Okay, in this house, you mentioned my husband, Boško, right? In this house, I think he's maybe one of the few people okay with COVID because he's been kind of holed up with a chef for 6 months. So I'm going to give you a tour of the cooktop right now because today was a big cooking day. And you talked about gemista. So I'm just going to take my little camera. This came out of the oven.
Oh my God.
So these are heirloom organic Ontario tomatoes. And I'm going to take you over here. This is some fasolakia.
Oh my God.
Fasolakia. And then because I started to get hungry and I was preparing for this, I said, let me make myself a little kind of Greco-Italian grilled cheese. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm eating. Okay. Because we can't be in Greece, this is a little grilled cheese I came up with. It's my sourdough bread that I make. Inside it has Greek figs, Parmigiano Reggiano, and a little bit of prosciutto di Parma. And it's all drizzled in olive oil and pan-fried. It's ridiculous. Oh, so that's what I'm enjoying, guys.
Holy jeez, that looks great.
It's really kind of good. So,
me, Ari, and Foti are drooling.
Oh man!
Well, you know, Christine, I don't know if Angelo mentioned to you, but having you on the show means that you have to have us at your home to eat as soon as we can get to Toronto.
He forgot to mention it, so I'm taking a note of it right now. I'm gonna just put it in my iPhone now.
I needed to make sure you understood that.
Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying at this point, right? Like we've virtually had 3 dishes together, so it's the least I could do, really.
Well, but Christine, Yemista now because it's the season, right, for all the vegetables, right? To get
and Ange, think about this. What I said to Boško is kind of interesting, right? I'm a big glass half full. I have not had a glass half full person. This has been a challenging time, no question. But what it gives us the opportunity here, because we would be in Greece right now. We would be,
of course,
in Canada, where we go every year. I never get to really enjoy these beautiful local tomatoes, which I'm always dissing because I'm like, Canada tomatoes are, But these are actually really would be in Greece.
No kidding. And let me ask you, do you think now, especially because we've been at home and I think people are cooking more now than they've ever cooked in their entire life because a lot of, especially here in LA where places are still shut down and you got nowhere to go. And there's some sense of like, you just showed us a few things that you're such a master at this. And you had 3 guys drooling over the sandwich with figs and this and prosciutto. And I'm like, oh my God. There's still a sense of elation when people eat, especially if you look at Greeks, we look so forward to it. Absolutely. Like, and they eat at different times. Because when we went to Greece, and this is something that people don't connect to, is that here in North America, it's like, 6:30, 7 o'clock, it's late, we've got to eat dinner now. And the Greeks are waking up at 5:36. And then they have a Greek coffee, they play soccer, and around 9:30, 10 o'clock, you would go out to these restaurants in Greece, and then ekiswariksi, like you're eating. And I remember even when we were in Peloponnesos or Rhodos or even in Crete, that there's a sort of it's orchestrated. Like people just love to go out and eat. And the thing I like about the Greeks, when they sit down, they take their time. There's no rush.
Oh no, you totally can't rush it. And you mentioned something that's been my mission. I mean, I've been my life as a kid, but I have found that in the last probably the average, let's say North Americans have really gone away from everything is like 15-minute meals, 10-minute meals, 5 minutes. I'm like,
Right.
okay, dude, like open a bag and call it a day. Like how much more quick can the damn thing, right? So
Right.
what I found, because I also have a YouTube channel, when this pandemic hit like full on, I got this surge, like insane, like I'd never. And what I realized, and then I said to my husband, DOP, he's the DOP in-house.
Right. That's right.
I said, we got to do these often because I really felt the idiocy about it. And everybody honestly said, oh my God, this is so great. We feel like you are connecting us and you're giving us comfort that everything that because we were all in a sense of panic. There was this
very true
shit, we've not been but this was our, I think, challenge, stressful moment, I think, of all our lives. I can
agree.
Totally.
No, I agree. Guys do. Because I was just telling the guys, I said, and the Greeks always say this, and because we call the show Connect Greeks, I go, my mom always said this, and she said it in Greek. She go, and I'll translate it. Cook with love, right? And it's so true. And I think too many people are, like you said, they're so fast. Like they go, put it in a bag and cook it and eat it, and it's like crap. And then you're like, there's no. And then I go to people like, I'll give an example. And you've told me this, and my mother's told me this. If you're going to make a tzatziki, you have to strain the yogurt and get the water out, right? Now, you told me this. You've told me this. My mom's told me this. So I go to restaurants here in LA, and I get in fights at Greek restaurants here. And they bring the tzatziki, right? And it's like yogurt with the cucumber and the garlic. And it's all runny. Yeah. And the guy goes, this is the best tzatziki ever. I go, no, it's not. Because you didn't strain it. And the guy goes, ti tipes? I go, you didn't strain it. I go, it's not, because in Canada, when you go, most of the places, they strain it. Now, I know it sounds like extra work, but those are the details that make the difference. And I know, Christine, you are all about the details. I know that if it's not done a certain way, you will not do it. Yes. And I think that's the problem. We're always trying to cut corners. And that's why
you know what it is? I don't know, guys. Like, obviously, I'm a chef. It's a little bit different. My life's passion. I have done it not getting paid, getting paid lots, getting paid little. Like, it's what I love to do. But I transfer that to just really the idea of love. When a gesture of something small, a little, like just a fresh tomato, whatever you have, a little bit of olive oil, a small piece of bread. Give that to somebody. You share that with someone, the little that you have. It's a gesture of love, sharing. It brings people together, not in a, lame, I'm sitting in a restaurant. No, it's really a connection, and it's, I just see it as gospel. Really see more pressure, because it's the thing that nourishes, the thing that takes us beyond just stuff, whatever. But when anybody ever tells me, it's too much trouble, I always have to sit back and say, you know what, you're not getting it. You're just not getting it.
Right. But I'm gonna ask everybody this question now. Ari and Foti, I want you guys to chime in here. Why? Because I'm on the road a lot. I'm on the road almost 300 days a year, right? Why is it, even if it's not a Greek restaurant, even if it's an Italian restaurant, and in some cases a Chinese restaurant, where we're going to get to later, if Greeks own it, even pizzeria, anything, why is it always better when Greeks own these restaurants? Like, look at New York, all the diners and all this. And when I'm on the road with comedians, they go, how do you know where to go eat? But I know, like, I think we all have that radar that I'll go, if the diner, I go, who's the owner? It goes, Greek. Okay, we sit down. Well, and I'm not talking, guys, I'm not talking Greek restaurant, a restaurant.
Yeah.
Well,
and for some reason, they're never happy, but the food's good.
Right? I would, your point, Angela, I think is because, in my personal opinion, is because Greek-owned establishments, aside from them being Greek-themed, is because Greek operators are hands-on. They're either always there, they're always on top of what they're doing, despite the fact that it might not be a Greek menu. But I've always found that there's always a presence of either the owner or someone from the family who's always on site that really stays hands-on. And I think that says a lot, where in other operations, they work a little differently. So you miss that element of, quality, details, hospitality, the greeting, all that really does make an impact on the guest.
And there's also an element of Greek pride. They're not going to sit in this restaurant every day, all day cooking without making it as good as they possibly can, because that's also their pride on the line there. And their friends and family and people come in to eat, and it represents themselves, which I think Greeks take to heart.
100%. No, Ari, you both made a good point. I think, because I always, in my routine, I make fun of how Greeks are never happy. Because you go to the restaurant, you ever go to Greek restaurants?
They also have all their family there driving them crazy.
Because I went to one, I used to go to a diner in Toronto. I go Kalimera, and the guy would look at me going, Ine. And I always got a kick out of that. But the humor aside, I think Ari hit it on the head, is that they have so much pride, is that they will not, and I know for a fact, even when at my dad's restaurant or anywhere, it's like my dad says, if you can't eat it yourself, you're not giving it to people. Yeah. And I've still, but what's funny? I've carried, like Christine said, you carry that with you, and I think it's a template for anything you do in your life. Yeah. So and interestingly enough, Christine, because if people had a chance, I know your show Confucius was a foodie, and it's funny because we have this attractive Greek Canadian woman talking about kinesika, Chinese food, and the history of it in North America. But it's a great show, and guys, if you get a chance, tell us a little bit about that show, but with the background of it.
It's interesting that you talk about that show. We started the season and we traveled all around the world, actually. But it's interesting about, why do you take on a project? And this is kind of like what you just said, right? The template for your life, like applying that. The producer was my producer from my live show. She had to do a small show, and they had a little bit of money. Said, I was looking for someone who, there wasn't a big budget, and I'm like, I thought to myself, what am I going to bring to the story? Like, why exactly that? Am I, a born chef, going to do this show? And what it ended up being was I'm always the others where I'm teaching, I'm inspiring. Here, I was the student. I was learning because I've not been trained classic. So it gave me the opportunity, okay, yes, as a trained chef, but in this realm, I am not an expert. So I'm kind of viewer saying, what's this? What are you doing there? Why is that? Actually trying to do it, making dumplings, 500 to make noodles. It was an amazing thing. Like, imagine, Andrew, would be like you in a bit where you don't have to prepare anything. You don't have to know anything, and you just react and learn and ask questions. Oh my God, it was probably the most interesting project I ever had for that reason. One surprise after eating incredible and learning that again, what I said, I went to places where I had translators, and the translation wasn't being the chef English. We didn't have to even know what the other was saying. He was showing me this thing. I was like, holy cow, this is unbelievable. Slam this, put this, taste this. It was amazing. And right away, they're so open they're like, oh, this woman is interested in what I have to do, what I have to say.
Right.
I'm learning something, and we are both connected, and I learned so much.
Well, I think that's what makes your show so interesting, is that you allow yourself the experience, and we're going through it with you at the same time.
Exactly.
And that's why it's such a great show. I've seen a few episodes, and it's like, you're taking your viewers and your audience on your journey and getting the origins of it, because it's like, there's 1.6 billion people in China. They're eating food.
Oh yeah.
Right. And it's amazing how you're able to do that. And I always found it's interesting, because I always look at, when I tell people, I never labeled myself Greek comedian. The press did. They said, Angelo Tsarouchas, okay, the guy's Greek. But it's funny, but I find that people will say things to me that I find hilarious. And one woman came up to me and she went, oh, you're Greek, huh? I'm like, yeah. She goes, we love feta. And I'm like, bravo. Bravo. Like, it's like going up to somebody who's Asian saying, oh my God, you're Asian. We love orange chicken. We love orange chicken. You're such beautiful people. But it's funny how it's also an identity thing, right?
It is.
Because there's an identity attached to food and to ethnicity to anywhere in the world. And I think, and that's what's nice.
people also hold on to it. People are defined and kind of hold on to that and we fight it, right? So in one particular episode, because we actually did go to Greece, in France.
Nice.
So my producers, the way they had the show structured was very interesting, and they would keep me in the know on a lot of things. So I would just react to some things I knew about. So they said when we went to what we need to tell the Greeks that baklava was invented by the Chinese. And I'm like, all right. I said, just hold the phones here. So you picture this scene. I'm like, how exactly? No, she goes, you're going to go in there and ask a lot of questions. You know, we have this historian. I'm like, so we're in a Greek bakery in Athens, me and this like American historian. And he's telling me while we're eating this baklava that the people to record a recipe for baklava were Chinese. So I almost choked on the thing. I'm like, we gotta get out of here because we're gonna get slapped in about a second. So that was fun. You know, like,
that's hilarious.
Oh, yeah,
You imagine the Stavro at the Zacharaplastion Elas, Yana Supo, the Ikinesi Kantodipes, Elador Siskoto Soremati Matsuka.
Exopodo, oost.
Now, was the guy being serious or was this a joke?
He was being serious. He had like it's historian. Seriously, it was not a joke. Now, okay,
right.
I mean, it's a long story, and the show
right.
A kind of a long circuitous road. But I also went to the. Have you ever heard of Mamalakis? Ilias Mamalakis in Greece. He was before all these young guys came on TV. He was Greek, kind of traveling, cooking. He's amazing writer. Probably now in his early 60s, so articulate, speaks like 3 languages, hilarious. And I went to his house, and he made me his version of baklava.
But see, that's so cool. That's so cool, Christine, because just what we're hearing from you, like sharing these stories about going to different places, you learn something. I like something where I'm learning something. Where you get to do it and you get to watch this and you get to learn from it and have a good time at the same time. For sure. Because it's like you go to Greece. Because I always tell people and it's something as basic as a Greek salad. Why, when you go to Greece, they put capers on it and they're olive oil. And I know you have your own brand of oil from I think Crete. And all these places that you're going, and I mean, as they're bringing you the salad, you can smell it.
You smell it before you see it.
Right, you smell it like right away.
And it's coming, right? You smell it, you see it, and I think that there is some magic there. There is, like we talked about, the emotion connection. It's not complex. It's varied, and there are a lot of dishes, but it's really about the love. It's about the variety of like. Crazy variety of use of vegetables, so many, and just that like love of the thing. This is it. This is the best pasticcio you're ever gonna have, and that's it. Forget about it.
Forget about it. It's so true. I mean, guys, how do you feel about it? About when you go to Greece, do you not see the difference? I get in fights now. Like I'm at that age now where I'm turning into my dad, Petro. I was at a restaurant. They put maruli. Greek village salad. I go, come here.
Yeah, what's this?
And my wife's looking at me, go, here we go. I go, hold on. When did we have lettuce in a Greek salad? That's the way we do it. No. I said, that's fine. If you do it like this, do me a favor. The guy goes, take the word village out of your salad. And I get in a fight. So my friends go, why are you getting upset for? I go, because, am I right? Real Greek salad doesn't have lettuce.
No, it doesn't. That's another one. That's marulo salata, but choriatiki.
Right. Choriatiki means in Greek we ran out of maruli, right?
Choriatiki means
it's so funny because I'll go with people. The guy goes to me. Oh no, here we go. Because I was in New York and at this place, and the guy said chicken souvlaki, and I said that what they did, Christine, they put a pita bread. Yeah. They took a chicken breast. Chopped it up on the grill, and they put a little bit of tzatziki with one olive in the. I go, what's this? And then the guy comes over. I go, what's this? Oh, it's a chicken souvlaki. I go, no, it's not even a shawarma. So the guy came over, and the guy was Chris. He was a big guy like me, and he came over, right? And I looked at him, and I said, are you the owner? Yeah. He goes, you speak Greek? He goes, yeah. The drepese. I felt like my mom. The drepese ligaki. He just looked. And you know what's funny, guys? He looked and he knew. You know what he said to me? Kseni veto piano. Now, if you translate that, the strangers don't get it. Yeah. He says, I go, what? He goes, you don't look, you know what he said to me? You don't look Greek. So I go, you're serving me skata because I don't look Greek. Guys, he went back in the kitchen, made a real horiatiki, made a real souvlaki on pita with the real cubes and everything marinated. It was a completely different meal. Only because he goes, I think so, nefti.
But it's true, they don't.
but then I thought, there's some truth to this. When you go, but I know the guys want to say, but Christine, let me ask you, because I know you and Boschko are building a place up in Crete. You're doing there. Do you find, we'll talk about the Greek thing for a second. Do you find that going to Greece, do you make discoveries every time? Because I know you guys go to Greece every year, except for maybe this year, because nobody's going. Yeah. Do you make new discoveries every time you go to Greece?
Every I was that quintessential, but I came as a baby, right? So I say, made in Greece and Canada thing.
Nice.
But every time I go, I discover a multitude. And it's interesting because Boschko also discovers, and he had been more places in Greece than I had because he's Serbian, right? And they were always, but I realized it also, we are kind of in a snapshot, and we see, I think those people who had our immigrated, we have that snapshot of Greece, like the Italians do of Italy and whatever, Calabria, the Napolitan. Greece is so different than it was, when our parents left, that it always, of course there's certain attitudes still prevail, but there is an amazing, I'm always so amazed. They're always fun, always. How about you guys? Do you go does anybody go? I mean, I know, Angelo, you go often. I know you were there last year.
I was supposed to be there with our friend Pablo this year doing the show. That didn't happen, but the guys, I think Ari was supposed to be there. No, Foti was supposed to be there.
Yeah, I was supposed to be this summer. We go, if not every year, every other year. And, my wife and I, we come from two different parts of Greece, but obviously each area has its own customs and traditions. But the soul and the energy, no matter where you are, seems to be on the same level.
Where are you from? Where are you guys from?
Myself personally, both of my parents, I was born in Boston. Both of my parents are from the island of Kalimnos.
Oh, Kalimnos.
And my wife, both born here as well. Both of her parents are from Monevasia.
Oh, Monevasia. That's
nice.
Where we are going to be. We're actually Umani.
Oh, yeah. And Ari?
We went to...
Yes.
My dad is from Filiatra in Papua, and my mom's from Kriti, Chania.
Oh, my mom's from Kriti, Chania, too.
Really?
Yep.
There you go.
Her name was Tsikudakis.
That means you make a lot of tsikudia.
Oh, yeah.
And how long, when did they leave?
66, I believe.
Yeah, late 60s. 60,
yeah, 66, I think they came here.
That's cool. Looks like we all had the similar path. My parents, 65.
Yeah, it was that big.
Isn't that funny? When they right before the Huda, right? Right before the military government took over, the Greeks knew it was coming in 67, right?
Yes.
Did
the military government?
Did both of your parents go to Canada originally, or did they go somewhere first and then Canada?
My parents?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they came first to Canada. They were going to originally go to Montreal because my dad so he was going to go to Montreal, and then that didn't pan out. And then.
But what about you, Angelo? Did they go straight to where?
Well, you know what's interesting about my dad, because my dad was 15 years old. He took the ship in 1949 and came to Canada through Halifax. And then, it's funny, guys, because everybody says you meet your friends who I can't meet anybody, can't get married, can't. Mm-hmm. My dad, my papu died. My dad went back to Canada to say hello to somebody in Piria, saw my mom. A week later, they got married, and they're back in Canada.
Wow!
And guys, and you know what's funny about this? And my mom loves Christine, but Christine knows her. My dad was 29. My mom was 14.
Wow!
When he went back to Greece, she was 14, which by today's standards is statutory. But in those days, that's how you got married. And she turned 15, and I said to my mom, because it's like. It's like I only have 15 years difference with my mother, but my mom's only 71. My mom's young.
Wow.
So it's really funny when people will say to me, they go, "Oh yeah, well, I mean, I got friends now. I got friends who are in their 50s. I don't know about a commitment. What commitment? my dad went there. I'll pick her. And back in Canada, pops out 3 kids by 19 years old. Good night.
Oh my!
But Angelo, they made it work.
They made it work. It's so absurd because now I look at people and they go to me, I'm a late dad, whatever, but at the same time, I think to myself, how interesting that, and now those were different times. You couldn't do that now. You'd be Roman Polanski now. You'd be going to jail.
You'd be exiled.
You'd be exiled. But it's for some reason, and I thought, how the hell did they leave? And we all share the same stories here. They left a country, came to another country, not knowing what the hell's going on, whether it was Canada, U.S., Australia. Not only did they make it work, they had families, they raised their children.
Yeah. Successful.
And now we've become so, like, I got my cousin, I don't know, man. I'm thinking of taking a vacation, but I'm really scared. I go, you have credit cards and Google. What are you scared about, Malaka?
GPS and
Just go.
smartphones and chats.
Yeah, I'm scared. I don't know. I go, our parents got on a ship and were sailing for 30 days. They didn't even know where the hell they were going.
Crazy.
Imagine that.
They made them. I think they made them a lot tougher back then. I was going to ask.
100%.
You said your mom was from Crete, right?
Yes.
Was she? My mom was like the most hardcore woman I've ever met. A quick little fun story is I barely can drink like wine. I can't do shots. I can't drink like anything. I'm very.
Sorry to hear that.
When my wife first met me, to meet my mom, I told her she's from Crete. She's pretty like hardcore. Like don't mess around with this woman. So she brought a bottle of Sikudia with her. And we're like, Mom, don't drink too much. She was an older lady. Don't drink too much. It's not good, blah, 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 blah. So my wife was scared. So she was pouring her a little bit. And my mom, like, shot it down. And she's like, that's it? You're going to, like, fill this next time. And we're like, no. She filled it up. My mom was shooting it down. I would sniff this stuff, and I felt like I went blind. Counting it down. So, I mean, I'm going to imagine your mom is, like, the same way.
You know what? My mom is totally not a drinker at all. But in terms of the kind of hard ass,
yeah,
it was just like her mom was, like Cretan. Oh my God! Literally, you cannot. If she has something in her mind, if she's going to do something, like literally, God Himself. I always say, Ma, stamata. I'm like, like she just will not stop. She will not stop, and she's gonna do it. Like it's just, there's no way you're gonna stop. There's no way. I'm like, I don't even get it.
But guys, in World War II, Hitler deployed the 5,000 elite airborne, and the women and children of Crete massacred over 4,500 of them. They made the documentary The 11th Day. This is the type of the Kritiki who I admire.
I think my mom was responsible for 2,000 of those deaths.
Yeah. And think about it. Just think about it. Like, I'm listening to your stories. When Hitler was losing on the front lines of Russia, do you know the quote? Maybe I should go to Crete and get the women and children to come and fight. I may have a better chance at winning. Because it took 11 days for the Nazis to take over Crete, an island, Fadasu, with the type of, the perseverance and no fear. If you ever get a chance, guys, there's a movie called The 11th Day about the takeover of Crete by the Nazis. And Churchill, everybody said it, man. The Kritiki were like, we're going down swinging here. You want to get us. And the worst opponent is the one that doesn't care to die.
Yeah.
Right? And that's exactly...
If you think about, I don't know many stories about those, but I know there are fans out about, again, to talk about, she wasn't pounding back Tsihudia, but when she was, there was no Tsihudia pounding. But the story she tells when she was 6, so the Germans were occupying, they were in Athens, had occupied, and they had nothing. Like it was, the war, there was nothing, food, bedlam. So she said she remembers they had like basically a one-room house. She remembers being, I don't know where she was, and, they were all very, very, so all she says is, I could smell this food, smells something. And my mom is extremely short. She's 4'10", like fully grown. So then she must have been like so small, right? At 6. So she saw on one of those ledges, so the windows that opened up, and she saw a small like tapsi with a roast chicken, like whole roast food that they had, the cooling. And she literally said she walked by. Think about this, 6 years old. She saw the pot, the tapsi. She picked it up and she ran home. She came into the house and my grandmother said to her, what is this? Where'd you get it? She goes, I just found it on the thing. She's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Think about that for a minute. Why?
At 6 years old. At 6 years old.
So 2 years younger than your daughter. Like, think about that. Nuts.
But I think that's what makes it, that's why I think growing up, like my mother, I think our parents always wanted us to eat everything. And people don't understand when you came from war and famine and from those countries, is that they wanted you to make sure you ate everything because they went through a time where they didn't have anything to eat.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that sometimes we overdo it, but at the same time, it's like, and like I'd say, I remember once my mom, when I was little, took me to the doctor because I was too thin. And I go, Mom, that's what kids look like. You know what I mean? Like, he's got his ribs. I go, that's what kids look like.
Yeah.
You have to fatten us up, yes, Foximo. It's not Pasca.
Yeah.
So before we go, so Christine, I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
And I think you're the best person to ask this question. I'm going to ask Ari and Foti the same thing. What are your Greek food allergies? Because I'll tell you mine, and I get shit for it all the time. I'll start with me. My Greek food allergy is I don't like arni.
What?
And I don't. I know. Because when we were little, we had a little pet called Pete, and we played with Pete before Easter. And then right before Easter, Pete hung himself in the garage. And we don't know why he was depressed. And since then, don't ask me why. I don't like katsika or kokoretsi or arni. I can't eat it. And I get so much shit for it. But that's my Greek food allergy. Okay. What are you tell me, you guys, what's your Greek food allergy? Because we love it. It's all good. I know it's good. But
I can't say that I have an actual food allergy to Greek food because like as I was a kid growing up in the house, we ate whatever mom put on the table. There was no question.
Foti, is there one thing you didn't like?
You know what?
Fasolia or something like
you know what? As a kid, I did have my, I had my weirdness with certain foods that I wouldn't eat. But as I got older, I changed. I started eating anything that was from my childhood that I didn't like. I mean, when I was younger, I couldn't eat bamias because of the texture. It was like slimy.
Yeah.
But now I love bamias. Like looking back, fasolada and fakes. As a kid, it was like I couldn't eat it because just something about it. But now, please, I'll eat the whole pot of fasolada. Or
that's why your nickname is Bamia. You know what's funny, Angelo? My wife and my mother-in-law don't eat arni too. So it's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. No, and people go to me, and that famous line in Big Fat Greek Wedding, you don't like meat? It's okay, I make lamb. Which is one of the most famous lines ever, right? And people remember that. But it's like, and I tell people, I go, look, man, I go, just because I'm Indian doesn't mean I like tandoori. I mean, everybody has this idea that, you're Greek. I remember I went to somebody's house once and they go, we made you the best dish. And I opened the thing and it's lamb. And I almost yacked my guts out. I go, I can try it. Sometimes really good lamb chops, if they're seasoned right and they don't taste gamey, I'll have it. But,
if you get a bad batch of lamb, and even me who loves lamb, like I kind of get grossed out. It definitely has to be a good quality to it. The only thing I could say that I don't like from growing up is corta. Like just my wife forces me to eat it all the time for the health aspect. That's no matter what.
What is it that you don't like about it?
Is it vlita or radikia?
I think the vlita I don't like more. The radikia I think I like a little more, and the vlita is just like poisoned.
Really? Because the radikia is pretty bitter. You like the
Oh
bitter?
wait, so reverse that then.
Okay.
It's the bitter one that I just can't do.
Okay, radikia. That's
Just
understandable. It's bitter.
Drench it with olive oil, lemon, and salt, and you'll be fine.
I do, man. I do. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
Can I tell you something? There's something, going back to this Chinese show, that I learned that there's something about the way certain people perceive bitterness that can be a little bit hyper intense. So maybe you're one of those. We did this whole episode on bitter, salty, or whatever. Because in our house, like our house here, my husband loves all the bitter liqueurs. Averna, like he's always with the freaking Aperol. I hate them. Give him bitter greens. I bring Radik. He's like, oh, I'm like, you just drank like 6 Avernas, whatever. He goes, it's different. And I'm the opposite. I go, I hate these bitter liqueurs, but I love the horta, and the same thing. When you put the lemon on it, it really counters that. So a little bit of lemon offsets the...
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Is that the same case for people who either love or hate cilantro?
That's like a genetic thing. I think that's genetic.
It's a perception. There has been some document that some people, they perceive it as soapy. Like
soapy.
So it's how you taste it. It's not about do they like it or not. They have that kind of...
Yeah. Ever since I heard that comment, every time I eat cilantro, I'm thinking to myself, well, I taste soap.
And do you?
I don't. But
you don't have that genetic disposition.
It's in my brain now. Like, oh.
Okay, I'm going to put something out there. This was the food as a kid. I was one of these kids that loved surprise. My brother couldn't get him to eat anything, but I was like the one food I hated. And to this day, I mean, I don't know, I never make it and I have no sin, was uvarelakia. I
really, huh?
hated them. I don't know what it was. I'm like, if I could smell that, my mom, my dad cooked more than my mom. But if I'm talking like 5, 6 years old, if I smelled uvarelakia, it was over. I'm like, I can't eat this.
That's funny.
How about you?
You see,
I gotta say, you know what? You're right. I remember as a kid, like the uvarelakia were like I was on the fence always. But when we got forced to eat it, then I just acquired to like it. But yeah, there's something about them. I'm like, Ma, they don't look like they're like gray and they're like.
I love them. I love uvarelakia.
They don't look right.
Alina makes it. My wife makes it. I love it, man. I'm the opposite.
They look undercooked.
There you go.
Your parents are lucky you're submissive, Foti. They're forcing you and you're like, okay, I'll like it.
Oh.
Now, let me ask you guys this. Have you guys as a family after church on a Sunday with butter knives ever been out in the field by the airport picking horta or vlita? Confess. I need you to confess.
My mom.
With the blinkers on the side of the highway.
I don't think there's a certain age group of American Greek, Canadian Greek in the diaspora. There's a certain age group that if you're above this age, 100% you are with your parents or grandparents picking vlita.
or how about this? My parents should get the phone call from one of the relatives that they found a new spot.
Oh yeah.
Right?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, the spot.
And then all of a sudden the phone call went to 10 other family members, and then you see like a herd of like Greek families from a certain neighborhood at that same location.
So, and we always had in our house growing up, we always had a grapevine, but we didn't have grapes. It was just so that we could my mom could make don madakia. There were no grapes.
That's so funny.
Oh man,
that's great.
I love being Greek.
And can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So my dad was a chef. Hey, Christine, it's James.
Hi, James.
Greek who lives in Toronto. So my dad was a chef. There was such an emotional connection with cooking and eating, but a horta story. So he had the whole toolbox for horta and vlita collection in the trunk. And we're coming back from a wedding. We're driving
That's
back
hilarious.
Rafi pulls out. He's like, "Dad, vlepora pramata." Out he goes with my mother in his suit, sitting there. Guess what we had for dinner that night? Just hilarious. So lots of those kinds of stories from Melbourne.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
So great. That is it's nuts.
That's hilarious.
Everybody.
I want so now, Christine, you know that we're coming to your house at some point to eat, right?
Yes,
So
yes, definitely.
The prank that we're gonna pull is you're gonna have some sort of cilantro dish for Foti, and you're gonna put some dish soap on it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see if he has the same reaction.
The dish soap.
And I'm gonna make prime rib for Angelo, but I'm gonna wrap it in a thing that looks like lamb. You know, I'm gonna put like a lamb costume on it,
like Bugs Bunny, but inside it's prime rib. Oh, that's great, Christine. So, Christine, before we end this today, please give us, where can people find you, and where can people see your new shows and everything? You can tell so we can share it with our audience.
Sure. Thank you, Angelo. So my YouTube channel is My Favorite Foods. Just look up YouTube. I haven't done videos in a while, again, because I lost my DOP, but there's like 250 videos. I have a lot of fun on that channel. It's gotten really a lot of fun. So I can see you there. And PBS across the U.S. is
all right.
We have bits of it. Really a fantastic show that I just won the best chef on that program for.
Yes, you did win the best chef, and that is wonderful news. So we can catch you on YouTube. It's called My Favorite Foods with Christine Cushing. Go to ChristineCushing.com. Yeah. Confucius Was a Foodie, which is all across on PBS, all across America and Canada. Right. And I just want to say I love you. I'm so happy you came on with us today on Connecting Greeks. This is a great episode, and continued success. And one day we're going to crash the party at Christine's place in Toronto.
Yes, guys. Very nice to virtually meet you. This was a great cross the North American hemisphere with you all.
Likewise.
Thank you so much, Christine.
Thanks, Christine.
Yeah, and cooking at my house at some point.
Cooking at your house. Or next time you come to LA, we got some new places to go to with our friend Raphael.
Okay.
So we're going to go there too.
We'll definitely have you back on the show at some point as well.
Absolutely.
100%. We'd love to have her back for sure.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Christine. Bye, Christine.
So okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, honey. Bye-bye. She's wonderful, right, guys?
Yeah, great.
What do you guys? She's wonderful. I mean, the stories are wonderful. You can see how much passion about what she does, and she's so good at what look at what she showed us on the stove. Yemista and that sandwich. Yeah. I mean, my God, how good was that sandwich?
I'm hungry now. I'm real hungry.
I'm hungry. She made me hungry. She always does that all the time.
But Angela, it's one thing about this segment and all the segments, it's about sharing the stories that we all relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what we got here. You're right. We got some chats here from people. Yeah. Lena says my yaya got fined by cop for holding a knife and indecent exposure because she was holding the horta folded up in her hiked on her skirt, which is funny, Lena. And so, and thanks, James Mariano. So nice to
let me unmute him to say hi and bye.
Say hi to James too, who's a dear friend of mine. And Margarita, James didn't like that either. So I think it was great. Thanks for coming on today, James.
Yeah, thanks you guys. Thanks, Ange. That was great.
And we have to James, we got to bring you back on as I'm glad you jumped on today. We want to bring on it back. We're going to bring it back on as a guest. We want to talk about what you do, because you're an interesting cat, and there's so many things. Your story come from Australia to Canada, and you're in the film business, you're in the music business, you're doing a lot of things.
Yeah, let's have him on. Let's have him on.
He's a mover and a shaker, so we're definitely gonna get James on. And thanks for coming on, James. And
pleasure. Great to see you, Ange. Take care, guys. Nice meeting you.
Cheers, man. Cheers,
man. Sure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And I think it was another great episode today, guys. I think we knocked out another one. We've had two great Greek women on the show. Who knows what? I'm never going to say what the guest is for next week because it changes. But we've had two great guests. We had Ellen Karras, and now we've had Christine Cushing. And they're just going to keep getting better. And it's been fun. We did over an hour now. I think the hour went by fine. So
it zips right by when you're having fun, my friends.
Greek fun.
Greek fun. So again,
we want to say, I just want to say real quick, anytime, everybody out there, you could join us for our live stream. We're always inviting people to the live stream. Then it will become a video. So check out our website for the video. And it will become a podcast on every major platform, Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartMedia, everywhere. So check it out on all of those platforms. You can find all the info on the website, connectinggreeks.com. Angelo's always pumping everything out, and he has a huge following. We're riding his coattails, but someday I'm going to be
riding your
him, and he's scared of me. He's scared of me. He sees me coming.
Hey, Angelo.
That's great, guys.
Angelo,
Yes.
but before we sign off, you want to check on your neighbor, make sure he's okay now?
I know. I told Malaka. He says it's too loud. And I mean, he's doing. But you see, this is so L.A. And my neighbor's he's a prominent actor. He's in the condo next to me. I guess I got excited. He goes, "Hey man, I got to put this on tape, bro. Can't screw." So you know what I did? I did the neighborly thing. I just came inside to my place because I was sitting outside. I was having a puro, and I had to leave it. So.
I thought he was originally yelling at you about the not yelling, but I originally thought he was complaining about the cigar. I couldn't hear him.
Well, sometimes you see it's hot now. Sometimes if he has his screen door open, he'll be upset about the cigar. But he's a cool guy, and we have an agreement. We're
Angela,
good friends.
Angela, are you one of those people? Are you one of those neighbors that everybody's complaining about all the time?
Listen,
Probably.
bring him on the show next time so we can talk.
We should because he's a great actor. So put him on. So it doesn't matter. That's good.
All right.
Well, it was a lot of fun, guys. Another good show, fellas.
Yes, absolutely.
Connecting Greeks. Let's put Connecting Greeks, connectinggreeks.com. Check us out on all platforms, right? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything.
And we'll be back next Wednesday, right?
Next Wednesday?
Adi,
We'll be back next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Adi, Foti, Angelo, Connecting Greeks, man. Let's do it again.
We're connecting. Good to see you, Angelo.
Good to see you guys.
Take care. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for
Bye-bye.
watching.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.